God expresses remorse to Tuya Mochizuki for unintentionally causing his death by lightning and proposes to revive him in the new world. Tuya agrees to come back to life on the condition that he can bring a smartphone that can access the internet from Earth and be charged with magic. Additionally, God enhances Tuya's stamina, reflexes, and memory abilities. In the new world, Tuya rescues the twin sisters Elsie and Lynn Siluska from a group of thugs whom he effortlessly overcomes. Afterward, the three become a team and undertake paid quests, with the Siluska sisters instructing Tuya in the language and magic of the new world. Despite most magicians being restricted to using only one or two types of magic, with some like Lynn's being able to use three, Tuya becomes proficient in every form of magic, granting him immense strength. Later, Tuya visits a cafe where he assists the owner in discovering a recipe for making delicious ice cream. Tuya, along with the Siluska sisters, aids a samurai named Yakokani in defeating a group of thugs and invites her to join their party. Tuya continues his quest to learn as many magic spells as possible, including null magic, which has a variety of applications. While traveling to the royal capital to deliver a letter, the group is attacked by lizards summoned by a dark magician with the intention of attacking a royal carriage. The group, including Tuya, fights and defeats the lizards and the magician. Tuya enters the royal carriage, where he uses a null healing spell to save the life of a butler named Lime. Lady Sushi Su Ernia Ortland, also present in the carriage, expresses gratitude towards Tuya for saving Lime's life. They head to the royal capital, where Su introduces Tuya to her father, Duke Alfred Ortland, who thanks Tuya for saving his family. The Duke reveals that his wife, Duchess Ellen Ortland, is blind from an illness and requests a powerful healing spell to cure her blindness. Tuya agrees and casts a null healing spell, which successfully cures the Duchess's blindness. The Duke rewards Tuya with 40 platinum coins and 4 royal medals, signifying that Tuya, and the Siluska sisters are under the Duke's protection. After delivering the letter, decides to join the party. The royal capital, Tuya encounters demi-human races, including elves and beast men, and aids a lost fox girl, named Arma, in finding her older sister, Olga. While out shopping with the girls, Tuya purchases a magician's coat that provides protection against magic they can use but renders them vulnerable to magic they cannot use. Tuya later uses a null crafting spell to transform a tree trunk into a shogi board at the request of a woodcutter, which he presents to the Duke and teaches him how to play. The group then accepts a quest to defeat a Dullahan near the ruins of the old capital city. Following the victory, Tuya uses a null locating spell to discover an object of magical value hidden in a secret dungeon. The object turns out to be the energy source for an artificial glass beast that can self-repair any damage done to it. Despite the beast's formidable abilities, Tuya and his companions manage to overcome it after Tuya extracts the energy source. Upon returning to the royal capital, they inform the Duke of their adventures, and he suspects that the glass beast may be linked to the abandonment of the old capital. The Duke requests Tuya's assistance in investigating the matter the next day. Later, the Duke contacts Tuya and discloses that his brother, the king of the royal capital, has been poisoned. On their way to the royal capital, the Duke expresses his concern to Tuya that the king's eldest daughter, Princess Yumina Ernia Belfast, may take over the throne if the king dies. Upon arriving at the capital, Tuya uses a null healing spell to cure the king's poisoning. Princess Yumina begins to fall for Tuya, and Count Balsa accuses the capital's ambassador, Olga, of sending poisoned wine to the king. Tuya uses a search spell to confirm that the wine was not poisoned and decides to recreate the banquet where the king was poisoned. After asking Balsa to drink from the king's glass, Tuya determines that Balsa was the one who poisoned the wine and frames Olga by accusing her of sending poisoned bottled wine to the king. With Olga cleared and Balsa arrested, the king agrees to let Yumina become engaged to Tuya for 2 years, hoping that Yumina can win his heart and that Tuya will decide to marry her. After the visit, Yumina joins Tuya's party and teaches him how to summon magic, leading Tuya to summon the White Monarch, a powerful tiger spirit, and rename her Kahaku. Tuya agrees to investigate a deceased magician's research on slime beasts in an abandoned castle, but the girls are hesitant due to the risk of their clothing dissolving. At the castle, the group encounters various slimes, including a unique one that can transform into beautiful girls. Tuya saves the girls from the slimes, and they decide to burn the castle down to destroy the research. Tuya helps Ye reunite a lost girl with her mother, and then uses a null search spell on his phone to locate Ye's older brother. He also teaches Linz a new water bomb spell and goes shopping with Elsie, buying her a dress. When the other girls ask for the same treatment, Yumina receives a letter from the royal capital offering Tuya knighthood in gratitude for his help in solving the king's poisoning case. Tuya refuses the offer of knighthood, and instead, the king gives him and Yumina ownership of a big mansion, where Tuya invites Elsie, Linz, and Ya to live with them. When Tuya explains he sees them as family, Yumina misunderstands his words and calms down the girls, accepting the offer. Later on, the Duke and Sue visit the mansion, and Tuya is asked to travel to the kingdom of Miss May due to their alliance. Tuya helps Sir Leon to choose a gift for Olga, and they all defeat a black dragon that attacked a nearby town. A red dragon apologizes for not coming earlier, and Kahaku advises the Dragon King to have better control over the dragons. The next day, Tuya falls asleep and wakes up with his head in Yumina's lap. Yumina challenges the girls to a game of rock, paper, scissors, and she wins the chance to let Tuya sleep on her lap. Upon arriving at Miss May's capital, Tuya's party attends an audience with the king, who challenges Tuya to a duel. During the duel, the king reveals his own null magic, Ixal, which Tuya learns to use and combines with Boost to defeat him. Later that night, Tuya meets a fairy named Lean, who teaches him the program spell. Impressed with Tuya's skill, Lean offers to teach him more magic, but he declines. The next day, Tuya uses program to create a pistol sword with auto reload and blade extending features, and makes firearms for Linz and Yumina as well. While returning from shopping, Tuya confronts some stalkers who turn out to be spies sent by the king to protect Yumina. They ask Tuya to keep it a secret, and Lean decides to continue teaching him magic. Finally, Tuya opens a portal to Belfast at night, allowing the two kings to meet. After arriving back from Miss Maid, Tuya creates a bicycle for himself using his powers, but ends up making more for Linz, Yumina, and Duke Alfred. Later on, Tuya saves a little girl from being beaten for stealing and invites her to work as a maid in his mansion, and she accepts his offer. Lean visits Tuya at the mansion and asks for his help to open a gate to Ye's homeland, Ishin. Tuya can't open gates to places he hasn't seen, so Lean teaches him a null spell that allows him to access Ye's memories of Ishin, and they all travel there together. Tuya and his group travel to Ishin using Recall and Gate. They go to Ye's house, where they learn that her father and brother are fighting in a war. With Tuya's abilities, they quickly locate them, and Tuya defeats the undead Oni masked soldiers to help them. Tokugawa thanks Tuya for his help. Suddenly, Sabaki appears and asks for Tuya's help to save the Takedas, as Kansuke had betrayed Shinjin. Tuya agrees and Lean follows him. When they arrive, they free 3 other generals and rescue Shinjin, who was under the control of Kansuke's eye. The eye was stolen with the ports and broken, leading to Kansuke's death. After helping the Takeda family, Baba assists Tuya by using Recall and Gate to transport him to an island near the ancient ruins that Lean was searching for. Tuya and his friends use Gate to reach an island near the ancient ruins and spend a day at the beach swimming. While there, Tuya attempts to dive to the ancient ruins, but finds it too far and risky. Kahaku intervenes and summons Black Emperor, which is made up of a turtle and a snake. Tuya bonds with them and gives them the names Sango and Kakayu. With their help, Tuya manages to reach the ancient ruins, and is greeted by a maid in the Garden of Babylon. Tuya meets Francesca, an artificial maid in the Garden of Babylon, and becomes the new owner. He then uses a gate to bring the others to the garden, where the girls become suspicious and jealous upon seeing Francesca. Yumina takes the girls for a walk and talks to them about their feelings for Tuya, suggesting they become his brides as well. Later, Francesca kisses Tuya to sample his DNA, which surprises the girls. This leads Linz to confess her love for Tuya and kiss him in front of everyone, shocking the girls even more. Tuya and his friends bring Francesca back to the mansion. Yumina helps Linz become one of Tuya's brides, followed by Ya and Elsie the next morning. Tuya then goes to the garden to speak with Regina Babylon, the professor who created it. Seeking help with his love life, Tuya turns to Kami and the goddess of love. When he returns to the mansion, He tells his brides that he is not ready to marry all of them yet because he doesn't think he can make them all happy. Lean talks to Francesca, who reveals that Dr. Babylon predicted that Tuya would have 9 wives, but admits that Lean will also be one. In a post-credit scene, Tuya meets a stranger named End while walking through town.